Welcome back to your News at Night. I'm Jacob with Sports. I'm going to start off with a very surprising situation that has just came through my desk. The Montreal Canadiens have fired Claude Julien. After a 3-game losing streak, they just lost to the Senators last night. They decided they needed to make a change in the direction of the team. We've been talking the past few days how they've been on a downward slump. They've lost 3 straight now, but I did not expect them to fire their head coach. So now their new head coach is Dominique Ducharme, who will be the intern coach, and they are also bringing in Alex Burrows into the coaching staff, and they have also let go of Kirk Muller to the coaching staff. So this means one of two things is going to happen. Either Montreal is going to start winning, and you're going to see, okay, it was the coaching that was causing them to go on the losing streak, or they're going to continue to be kind of up and down, and then Marc Bergevin is going to be in the hot seat. The reason why I'm saying that is he's the general manager for the Montreal Canadiens, and he's the one who's built this team. So if they're not winning with a new coach, with a new assistant coach, which is basically changing up the entire playing scheme, that's going to be interesting to see if Bergevin still has a job by the end of this season. But let's move off the Montreal Canadiens into the San Jose Sharks. They canceled practice today. We still haven't heard why, which is kind of peculiar. Fingers crossed it's nothing to do with COVID and that it was just a fluke. Maybe the players just felt they all needed a rest. But let's move on to the Toronto Maple Leafs as they play tonight. Zach Hyman is being inserted back into the lineup, which means Nick Petan is going to be going back to the taxi squad. Now, Thornton, Muzzin, Simmons, Anderson, and Campbell are still all injured. So this means Toronto is still playing with a very depleted lineup. Michael Hutchinson will be getting the start again for Toronto, who has been playing better than expected. He's 1-1 with over a 90 save percentage, which we can't really be asking for much more than that from our third string goalie. And then Calgary is still having a little bit of injury problems with Jacob Markstrom. He's still out with a day-to-day injury, so it will be David Riddick or Big Save Dave coming in to start for Calgary. So let's go over the keys to victory for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs need to play a 200-foot game. And what I mean by a 200-foot game is they need to make sure they're playing just as well in the offensive zone, the neutral zone, and the defensive zone, or else they're not going to win tonight. They need to try to not worrying about matching Calgary's physicality. The reason why I'm saying that is Calgary is a much bigger team than Toronto, especially if no Muzzin, Thornton, or Simmons. Toronto's lineup is quite a bit smaller. So for Toronto, they need to make sure they play their game and not Calgary's game. I think they want to score first, especially since they got shut out against Calgary on Monday for the first time this season. They hadn't been shut out at all until that game. So they want to score first, and I would even say score often. They also want to get Matthews and Marner going again. They didn't look nearly as good in the other game, which I think has to do with Joe Thornton being injured. And John Tavares going up to that top line didn't really work. I'm looking to see Zach Hyman sliding back into a top line or second line role. For Calgary to win this game, we said Toronto doesn't want to play a physical game. Calgary wants to hit, and hit. Reason why I'm saying that is they want to be able to push Toronto around. They have a much bigger, stronger, tougher lineup than Toronto. They're not as skilled, but they are a lineup that can really beat a team down. They want to try to make sure they continue to shut down the Toronto Maple Leafs top 6. Because if you shut down their top 6, Toronto has a hard time scoring with their bottom 6. And I would say they want to get shots from anywhere and everywhere on Michael Hutchinson. I'm not saying Hutchinson's been bad this season at all, but it's got to get to him that a lot of people in the media and the land of Twitter have been getting on his case for the way he's been playing. So I think Calgary's going to want to pepper him with shots to try to get a quick one early. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about today is the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors have been snubbed from having a player appear in the All-Star game. This is the very first time a Raptor has not made the All-Star team since 2013. Kyle Lowry has made it 6 years in a row. And you know what? If you're a Raptor fan, I think you're pretty upset. Fred VanVleet deserved a spot on the All-Star team. He's having a career season. He's been one of the best players on the Raptors and frankly, one of the better shooting guards / point guards in the NBA. When TSN talked to Fred VanVleet, he said he wasn't surprised that he wasn't been named to the All-Star team. He said he kind of saw it coming and he figured he wasn't going to make the team. And now he's just focusing on Toronto Raptors winning games and proving other teams wrong. But I'm going to have more for you about that with Fred VanVleet, if he should have been an All-Star or not been an All-Star, more about the Claude Julien firing, and more about the Toronto Maple Leafs at their injuries on 705 Sports coming up at Friday at 4 p.m. But for now, we got to get back to news. Colette's patiently waiting to get back out there and give you some more news, so we'll be right back right after this break.